issue.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Meg.
And this is Michelle.
And this is
Not My Issue.
Welcome back for another episode 6, baby.
Welcome, guys. We are so excited to be back for another crazy ride with your favorite girls on your favorite Tuesday podcast.
That's right. And happy St. Patrick's Day.
I know we are a day early for St. Patrick's Day, but happy St. Patrick's Week, St. Patrick's Month, St. Patrick's Life, because Megan and I are both Irish gals. We both have that Irish blood running deep in our bodies, baby.
We do, and you know we like to drink. So.
Yeah, it's just always a good time when Irish people are around in general, but on St. Patrick's Day,
it's a whole mood.
It's a whole mood. You got the green beer going, you got the green outfits, and we both just happen to look great in green. So it's just, you can't go wrong.
It's a vibe.
Exactly.
So we have actually a special announcement for the week.
We're just giving you guys so many special surprises. We actually have a sponsor this week. So this week's episode is sponsored by Finn McCool's Irish Pub, just in theme for St. Patrick's Day. So make sure you guys order from your local Irish Finn McCool's, and you are ordering your Irish food, your Irish drinks. We know we got the Guinness going. Get the Guinness flowing, guys. And make sure you're supporting local and ordering from your favorite pub. They have amazing Blarney chips. They have chicken pot pie. They got it all going. So make sure you guys order from Finn McCool's this weekend. Support local and bring St. Patrick's Day home with you.
That's where Michelle and I met.
Yeah, we did.
Little bartenders over here in our little kilts.
Yeah.
Get that mental picture in your heads, boys.
We're wearing our kilts right now.
Okay, this is the time where we do our little recap of the week. Sadly, I didn't have that of an exciting week. Nothing crazy happened to me, but
surprise, though.
I know, guys, what? My life is crazy, but this week was a little more chill for me. Thank God Michelle had a much more exciting week than me.
Oh, yeah. I took one for the team this week, guys, and I decided to have probably the most happen this week. There was a lot of emotions flowing this week.
And I'm here for it, and so are the people, so let's go.
Yeah, I was like, okay, first of all, I was just in my feelings pretty much all week. I was
always,
but
okay, all week.
Yeah, I was just in my feelings, something's coming up soon. So I was just, just in my feelings for a little bit. I was literally driving to Meg's, and I had Stuck With You, the song, on, and I was belting this song like no tomorrow, literally screaming at the top of my lungs to the point where I was like, am I going to be able to record tonight? Because my voice
am I Ariana Grande?
I was like, I think I sound like her until you press pause on the music and I keep singing, because it literally sounds like my windows probably would shatter. I'm just not the best singer, that's for sure.
It's
but
okay, no one was there. It's fine.
I'm tearing up on my way here. I was like, bitch, your makeup looks great. Don't ruin it.
She's still hot. We're good.
Yeah. So we were in our feelings this week. Nothing specific happened to make me in my feelings. It was just every single thing that happened to me, I was like, why is this happening? Why am I like this? So this is going to be a little episode that we like to call They Always Come Back. It's another chapter in the great book the great Bible that we have, They Always Come Back. So I got a nice message from somebody who tried to ghost me. I think I mentioned him last episode. Tried to ghost me, and then of course, because they always come back, he did. So I got a nice text at about 10 o'clock last night saying, miss you. I literally read the message, and my eyes couldn't roll further back into my fucking brain. I swear, it was just, I was really? So I didn't even answer. I left it on delivered. And then I get another message about an hour later. This guy sends me on one back and says, I know you read the message, Michelle. And I was like, I panicked a little bit. I'm like, are my read receipts on?
My read receipts. Also, she did send me a screenshot oh, look who's back. And I'm like, do not answer that message.
Yeah,
no.
Do not answer. So
what did she do?
Of course I answered.
Of course.
Shocker. We couldn't let it go to fucking waste here. So
it's all content, guys.
It is
we
content.
do this for you.
We had to do it for the pod.
Exactly.
We had to. So after the miss you text, he said, I know you see that text, and I know drunk or sober Michelle, he's picking on Fucci now, guys, this is not fun. He goes, I know drunk or sober Michelle low-key still loves me. Not gonna lie, I fucked up. And as soon as I got that not gonna lie, I fucked up text, it triggered me. I was like, there's no way I can leave this go unresponded to. So, of course, I emphasized the message because, not gonna lie, you did fuck up.
Facts.
And I sent a nice little message back, and I literally said, you did. Yeah, you did. So
that's what I love about Michelle and I, is we actually do call out guys.
Of course.
Like, when a guy is acting some type of way, we don't just go ghost. We don't actually do that. We will tell them what happened and where they fucked up. So maybe for your future, you know, girls that you talk to and women that you talk to, you will step up and become correct.
Because one thing I can forgive is somebody who knows that they did something wrong.
Right.
Somebody who like owns up, mans up, and is like, you know what, like I fucked up. And in this situation, we knew he was gonna come back because we know I'm great. We know I got a lot to offer. So I was like, yeah, not gonna lie, you did fuck up. So I mean, the fact that he knew that and he like accepted his mistake, I was like, okay, I can entertain this for a second. We ended up texting back and forth a little bit, and then all of a sudden I get a phone call, and I was at my girlfriend's, and she goes, are you kidding that this guy freaking calls you? Like, your phone is ringing, like, with his face on it. And I was like, no, it's not. So I answered the phone.
Oh, see, you did more than I would.
I know. I answered the phone. My curiosity was like getting the best of me here. So I was like, I wonder what he has to say. Of course, he's a little lit. And of course.
St.
So
yeah. Celebrating early.
He's also Irish, so he was celebrating early. We have a whole conversation about him saying, I miss you, I can't believe you. And then he also said, which I thought was really interesting. He goes, I definitely tried to talk to other girls after you, but nobody could compare. And I said, isn't that funny? Because they can't.
Right.
Okay.
I'm not gonna. We won't boost ourselves.
Yeah,
that heavy,
I'm not gonna say I'm amazed. Like, I'm the best person to ever hit the face of the earth. But I know what I bring to the table, and I know I have a lot to offer.
Yeah.
So now he's finally realizing it. So I just thought that was hilarious. But yeah, he's like, I know there you wouldn't be answering the phone if a little part of you didn't still like me. And I'm like, you know what? It's just like, it's a little bit of the attention, and it's a little bit of the LOL in your face, LOL your back. That it was for me, not the feelings at all, because I'm the type of person, when someone burns me, I cannot unsee, like, I can't be unburnt.
No, and that's like me too.
Yeah.
And that's why the block delete game is so strong and so heavy for me and now you. Yeah. Because it's just like, once you do me dirty one time, I honestly can't come back from it.
I can't either. And it's just like, I don't know. I just can't. So I was like, okay, I'll entertain this conversation for the night. And because I have nothing else to do, I'll entertain this conversation. But
it's going to take a lot more than just being like, we should hang out. Like,
no, you had the opportunity to hang out, and then you went ghost. So
no, we don't do that.
It's a little too late for me.
No, like, what, you have, in retrospect, like, I should have done more? Yeah, you should have. But now that you've talked to other girls, now you realize, oh, she had everything I wanted, but I was so, nervous and so in my feelings that I wasn't sure if I could, like, meet up with you. No.
Yeah. And he did say to me, too. So he said, because I was like, can you just explain to me, like, what the fuck happened? Like, why you really went ghost? Is it, like, you wanted to continue to talk to other girls? Or, like, what was it? Was it something I did? Was it just, like, a you thing? And he goes, no. It was nothing that you did, which low-key I knew it was nothing that I did anyways. But
also love that you are collecting information for the podcast listeners.
Oh, of course. I have to collect it all.
Exactly.
I was like, not like I care, but like my listeners care. So please let us know what happened. So he said to me that he felt himself starting to catch feelings for me. But no, he started, because we honestly, like, we FaceTimed every single day. We talked all the time. Like, he is such a good vibe. He is honestly like a great time. But he was like, I started to like catch feelings for you, and it kind of made me nervous because you were the first person that I caught feelings for since my ex. And him and his ex broke up like a little bit before, but they were together for a while. So he's like, it's just the first time that I caught myself like really actually catching feelings for a girl, because like he's been with other girls, he's like fucked around, he's like done his shit, but he's like, you were the first person that I'm like, holy shit, like I can see this girl as my girlfriend. And he's like, and I just wasn't ready for that at the time, and it scared the shit out of me that I like got these feelings. And I was like, this is actually interesting, because like a lot of girls I know are in their heads and they're like, he ghosted me because it was something I did.
Right. And I've been there too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? What did I do?
Yeah.
And then I go to my like best friends, even my best guy friends, and I'm like, what the fuck happened? Literally, it's the same answer every single time. They're like, they're nervous. They're either catching feelings for you or they got to take a step back and be like, oh my God, like what is going on?
Exactly.
Because like we said before, we are givers. We are wives. We put like everything, like I put 100% into anything. And like if I'm talking to you, you know that like so interested in you. Like I'm fucking making you cookies.
Yeah,
like
which
shit.
triggered because I did do that for him. And then he ended up ghosting. And I was like, I don't like peanut butter cookies, but it's fine. It's okay.
Garbage. We'll fucking try.
It's fine. I was like so in my feelings when he like ghosted me because like I actually didn't know what happened. So now that I have a little bit of an explanation behind it, it is like so much more like I feel like I'm like on top. I'm like, oh, you caught feelings.
Right.
Welcome back, baby.
I think that's for guys too, and guys that are like once they either like they've broken up with their girlfriends and it's pretty recent when they start dating someone, and when they meet girls that are, you know, very straightforward and kind of put it all out there and give them the vibes exactly what they want, they get scared. Because I know I'm a girl that, and I know you are too, that we put everything into it. And I'm very open, I'm honest, I'm flirty, all that good stuff. But when they're like, oh my God, this girl could be everything I want, but I just got out of a relationship, so not for me right now. But then they realize afterwards, they're like, damn, that girl was legit. Ain't these other girls ain't putting out that work.
That's true. And I feel like men, not to toot our horns, but like we check a lot of boxes, I think, for guys. And it kind of scares people because they're like, holy fuck, like I was not expecting talking to this girl that they were gonna be like that, or like it was gonna be like this. Like I just like guys don't really see that. Like they go in with like easy intentions. They're like, oh yeah, whatever, pretty girl, like this is gonna be easy, this is like it's gonna be whatever. And then they're like,
she was different than what she looks like on Instagram, but no, she's chill, she's cool, she wants to just vibe,
she can hang out.
Exactly.
And then they take a step back and they're like, holy fuck, like this might go somewhere. So that was really his explanation behind it. I was like, interesting. Now you're never gonna have me, but it's fine.
Facts. It's funny, I was giving advice to one of my girlfriends the other day, and she's like, how should I handle this situation? This guy was kind of like pulling back, and I said, relax, chill. He sees how great you are. He knows how great you are, and just pull back a little and do your own thing. You know, sometimes they have to not see you and not talk to you to realize how great someone is. And that's kind of sad.
It is.
Don't do that if when you're listening, like, to this podcast, like maybe don't do that because it's a mind fuck. It really is.
It is.
And it gets people in their feelings and stuff. But sometimes you have to pull back to realize, oh shit, this is what I've either lost or I'm missing or I'm not getting fulfilled with, whether it's talking to another girl or you're in a relationship, whatever. It's like, you know, because at the end of the day, they may not be there when you're ready and they might have moved on.
Yeah, I think the best way to go about it is to be honest with the situation. Be like, listen, this is moving a little fast. Like, I just want to pull back. Let's just take it easy. If that was said to me in this situation, I'd be like, okay, whoa, you're thinking that I'm way more into this than I actually am.
You're just on the roster, baby.
Yeah, like let's just talk about this because I'm looking for someone to chill with, hang out with, like have a good time with, just enjoy their company. Like I'm not looking for a boyfriend. And that he literally thought I wanted to get married just because I was so nice and like did all this stuff, or was, I guess, girlfriend material. But like, it's just like if you are honest and open with the conversation of like what you're looking for, and like if it's moving faster than you wish it were to be, instead of just ghosting someone like a little baby, then that is the way that you should go about it. And that's the way that you're going to handle it. And that's the way you're going to keep this girl in your life and not be regretting the rest of your life the one that got away.
Facts.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, the time has finally come for me to introduce you to our very first guest of the Not My Issue podcast. And no, it is not one of Michelle's or my alter egos today. Thank God, right? He is one of the best people I know, hands down. I have known him for years and years. I would say within the last year, we've become extremely close. I can genuinely call him one of my best friends. He gives the best advice you will ever get. And he's one of the funniest, craziest guys I know. Please help me welcome Mr. Bolton City Gym Leader, aka John.
I'm super excited to be here, and thank you so much for having me as your first guest.
Now, for the audience, I want to explain the relationship dynamic between us. This is the funny thing, guys. John and I have the same taste in men. So literally, we will go back and forth all day sending memes, but also mostly sending men and their profiles to each other. And I'm okay with it. He tells me what's good on the internet.
My point is, I think Meg, as a beautiful, stunning woman,
Oh, thank you, baby.
should hold a high caliber for herself. So I just, keep her grounded, but I also make sure she keeps a 100 and only lets in 100.
Oh, you guys know my toxic
Let's in
10.
100.
Not 100% because we're selective. Let's not get excited, everybody. But at the same time, he shows me what's out there in the world. I'm like, oh my God, where do these men exist? They don't exist here, but they're there. They're
Honestly,
out there.
I got a bone to pick here because we do not need Meg getting intertwined with any more men that live across the damn pond in another country, another continent. Like we can't have this, John. We can't.
John is not adding to that because he literally will send me men from across the fucking world. And I'm like, oh my God, I can go to Dubai. Let me know.
That's probably the only problem. I might be an enabler for long distance, but I try to also rationalize the other side of that too.
Yeah, John's like, baby, you're going to Dubai. I'm going to Dubai too. Like, let's get this.
Yeah, we will both catch that flight for those men, but it's fine. Well, I say that now, but he is in a committed, beautiful relationship, and I'm so happy.
My boyfriend is hot as fuck.
And he's hot as fuck.
He will beat the shit out of you. So you better be careful blowing up my DMs, anyone listening.
But Loki, blow up my DMs anytime, anyone.
Okay, I have one very important question for you.
Okay, let's go.
And this is a question that has been burning in my little brain here. You as a male yourself, knowing how the
Did
male...
you just assume my gender?
Oh my God.
I'm just busting balls.
Did you assume
I'm assuming that you're a male, but okay, you as a male, knowing how the male brain works, how do you navigate around like relationships with men, knowing how like their brain works? Because I find with girls it's a little bit more different and difficult to, you're like, okay, what the hell is he thinking? What's going on? Do you find it a little bit easier dating in like in the gay world where you're like, okay, I know kind of the way he's thinking?
So yes and no. I've dated people who predominantly only had female friends, and as someone who probably started late in the game, it was no different than my experience dating a girl. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but the same way you guys can find somebody who is, very intuitive and like not your atypical guy, the same way there's like that variation. But I will say that being a guy, there probably definitely is an edge in not stressing or obsessing over things. And I feel that guys, especially gay guys, have like less stigma to share sexual interactions and past history.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's funny because I go to John with like my guy issues, and I know he's going to give it to me exactly how it is. And I'm like, tell me what this means. And he will literally, I have it. Funny story. There was a guy I was talking to, and I was like, John, I don't understand what's going on. He really drew out a Venn diagram for me, and it's beside my bed on God. I think I might get it framed. And it is like, these are the scenarios that he could be thinking. And he literally put them in bubbles, and I was like, this means this means this. And he gives me the best advice because he knows how the male brain works. I think that's where me and Michelle are kind of struggling.
I have no fucking clue what's going on up there. That's for
We
damn
are
sure.
really struggling over here. And I'm like, okay, John, what do I do? What do I say? And he will tell me exactly how it is. And I'm like, oh, okay, I shouldn't feel so bad about this. And he tells me how it is.
So you girls are good girls. Me, my philosophy is more trial and error. So you know what? If I can impart wisdom by, going 2 by 2 Noah's Ark style, why not?
Literally anything I do, I'm like, what do you think? Should I do this? He's like, he's an enabler for sure. Because he's like, Meg, just do it. I'm like, okay, amazing. I can go to him for it.
And then there's me in the background. I'm like, let's think about this. Should we? I'm not sure.
So my friends, my gay friends, joke around, and I'm kind of like the Ariana Grande, Taylor Swift of my group.
He's got the wig too to prove it.
Lace front, only lace front.
Right.
Quality only.
Quality.
But as the Ariana Grande, Taylor Swift, I've had a good amount of boyfriends, and I don't regret them. Even the shitty ones kind of like taught me a lot more about guys in general, and I know what I want to deal with, and I know what not to deal with. So when my friends like Meg come to me, I'm like, you don't need to deal with that. That's below you, not because, you know, you're this bombshell amazing person, but because you're this quality person, because you have a great heart, because you actually give a shit. And this person probably isn't giving a shit. As far as dating, every relationship moving forward, I'm not a person who needs to be in a relationship. And I will say, speaking to lots of younger women, there are some people who feel that their identity is bound in a relationship and they need to be in a relationship. There are also some women and guys who feel that they have to be in a relationship to have sex, when it's totally okay if you're, you know, positive about your sexuality and doing what you want to do, to have casual sex. Be safe, have fun, and do what you want to do.
And I said that, I think, episode 1, that like whatever makes you comfortable. Obviously, if you're down, be down. If you're not, that's okay too. But like, do what makes you feel good in that moment and kind of go with it. It's funny because on my way here, I was talking to Michelle about the difference between having sex right away or kind of holding it as like, oh, something that you want to keep from the guy or girl in whatever situation. Like, legit, it doesn't fucking matter, which is what I realized, because whether you fuck them the first time, second time, third time that you meet, or whether you don't for a couple months, you figure out who they are pretty quickly.
So, Meg, in regards to whether someone's preference is to like go on the date and, you know, hook up on the first date or at some point in time later down the road, it honestly doesn't matter. Do what you want to do. I have no problem hooking up on the first date. If we're having a great vibe and that just happens to not be the mood as well, that's fine. It could come later. But, you know, being, again, a bro who's gay, I know lots of toxic dudes, and guys will come up to me and be like, bro, I really, really like her, but like she fucked me on the first date, so she's not for me. That is the most disgusting thing I've ever heard.
Completely agree.
They will literally say, we had hours of conversation at dinner, she's amazing, she checks every box, but the fact that she fucked me, bro, that means I'm not down.
I think guys think about that in a certain way, because I've talked to some of my guy friends about it too, and I think their thought process is like, oh, okay, if I got her that quickly, then how many guys have had that same opportunity? It's almost about like the chase a little bit, I think, and like what I've heard from a lot of guys too. And I think that's part of the reason why they're like, oh, but she fucked me on the first date, so like, who else has she done this with? You know?
What's so sad is those same guys will also say, well, you know what, like, she doesn't know how to suck dick. You know what? She didn't like fuck me really, really well. So to those straight guys, and to any of you straight guys listening, please make up your mind. Do you want them to be a freak and know what's what and how to operate? Because that has no bearing on how loyal they will be to you.
Exactly. It doesn't matter, which is what is the whole loop around.
Yeah, and I can definitely agree to that, because I'm more on the opposite side. I like to wait. I like to hold off. But I still, like, the guys still switch up after, like, whatever, 3 or 4 times hanging out. It's just, like, I think it's just inevitable, especially right now with COVID. It's, like, I don't know what is going on in everybody's damn brain, but, like, guys are moving weird right now, like, super weird.
Oh, my God. You said COVID. Not that I forgot that we're in a pandemic, but can I tell you about my socially distant date?
Please tell us.
I met the hottest guy, to clarify, when I was single before my amazing boyfriend.
Let's put it out there.
I was going to say, are we spilling some tea here right now that your boyfriend doesn't know about?
Also, let me claim my boyfriend. Lex, if you're listening, you're amazing. No one's better than you. And on God, I'm yours.
Guys, we need you to claim us like this, okay?
Yeah, like, fuck.
So, my socially distant date. So, you know what? We were like, I don't know, 6 months, 7 months into this like quarantine pandemic. I don't know what it was because it's all a blur at this point. But this guy messaged me on Grindr. Grindr is like gay Tinder, but a little bit more business. So this guy.
It's a business exchange.
It's a business exchange. And let me tell you, I'm the CEO. I matched with this really hot guy. He was tall, he was muscular, and he had a pretty face. So he asked if I was down to meet, and I was like, sure. But given everything going on, we kind of decided in our conversation that we'd have a socially distant date. Now, what is a socially distant date?
Please explain. I don't know her.
So I met up with him at the back of a supermarket. I think it was a Highland Farms that is like,
Oh my God.
it's a Foodland now. So I met up with him. To give you an idea, I parked in like spot 1. We left spot 2 available, and he parked in spot 3.
Fair.
Were you wearing a mask?
No, but
Okay.
that's what spot 2 was for.
Okay, spot 2 was like the 6 feet barrier. Okay.
Correct. Worse than this, as I continue this story, a girl came up to me. I can't drop her name because she's local.
Oh, we don't drop names. Y'all know that.
Bitch.
But she actually came up to me and said, John, I'm really frustrated. I just want to get out there and I want to just, have a date or something. So I told her this story and I'm like, girl, get out there, have a date, feel safe. There's no reason you can't have a date, but do you know what I mean? Put your safety first, right? Mm-hmm. So then I told her this story. So let's pick up back where I'm in spot 1, he's in spot 3. We have an entire like sidecar length between us. So he's leaning on his car, I'm leaning on my car. We just talked for 2 hours. Just honestly talked, leaning on our cars. And it was cool because I could look him up and down. Mm-hmm. And after talking for about 2 hours, we were doing a lot of flirting, and I was aroused. I could tell he was aroused. We were both blushing.
6 feet apart.
From probably more.
Ooh, that's when you know.
So being very COVID cautious, he told me I had a great ass. So
Love.
I
You do.
I turned to show him. In any case, I backed up on him facing the other way, which means all of the potentially disease pathogens were moving at a distance away from him. And we both just jerked off.
Oh my God. No, that's a COVID date. That's definitely a COVID date.
That is the best COVID date. I
Wait,
mean,
you jerked off in the parking lot? Like in the open?
It was behind the supermarket.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
that's socially distant.
It was up until I caught feelings, and then he blocked me because he probably thought I was a whore.
Well, I mean, that's an him issue. That's a not your issue.
Literally not your issue.
In his defense, I think when I got close to him, he saw there was a hickey on my neck.
He's like, baby, I know I didn't give that to you.
So really, were you socially distanced with other people? We're not sure, but
See,
it's fine.
and you can't even use the excuse of, it was my straightener. Unless you're straightening a wig, I don't know.
I forgot to tell you the best part of this.
Oh my God, tell me.
This girl at my gym who asked for my advice in having, a COVID cautious date of her own, I told her this story, and I was kind of just trying to be funny. So this was on like the Monday or something when, my place of work was open. My place of work is a gym. Rest in peace, my employment. But I told her this story, and this was on like a Friday. So I saw her on the Monday. She comes up to me, obviously wearing her mask, because this is where we were at this point in time in COVID. And through the mumbles in her mask, she's like, thank you so much. And I'm like, wait, thank you for what? She's like, your COVID date. I'm like, what about it? She's like, I went on a COVID date too. I'm like, wait, what? I did everything you did. We had a socially distant date. I'm like, you jerked off on your car with him? I'm like,
That's actually kind of a mood. John, I have a question for you.
shoot.
Okay, what is your experience with straight men? Do you flirt? What's your vibes around them? What's the whole scene here with straight guys and you?
So, lots of straight men like to flirt. I would say most confident straight men love flirting with me. And as a mature gay man, I realize it is what it is. I don't actually think they want to fuck me. They just like the idea of somebody that they conceptually think is good looking flirting with them. It makes them be like, wow, cool. Wow, if I was gay, fuck, I might actually do pretty well. Mm-hmm. So, I don't mind it. They actually really like it. I've been in lots of different jobs where like straight men flirt with me knowing that I'm gay, but like they obviously, like any straight man, be like, well, bro, obviously as 100% straight guy, you're so good looking. And I'm like, oh, okay, thanks, man.
Like, I visually see it. Like, I see it firsthand. They fucking love it.
Do you find that only guys that are like super secure with their sexuality are open about it? Or do you find like a lot of guys that are kind of not as secure with their sexuality are like, whoa, 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 what's going on?
So, yes, like guys who are very secure in their sexuality flirt a lot more. Do you know what I mean? Because like, I know there's nothing there. That's why they like love that playfulness. Do you know what I mean? What's more important to state is in some of the psychology courses I took in college, there is a spectrum of sexuality, right? I believe it's called the Kinsey scale. And it doesn't matter. Like, the titles of gay and straight are helpful for like sorting things, but realistically, even you as predominantly straight women, do you know what I mean? There's a spectrum, right?
We know Megan swings a little bit more one way than me.
TikTok has me thinking things. It's fine.
But with that spectrum, you know, like, I think people need to stress less about gay, straight, whatever else, especially with everything going on and the importance of like mental health, knowing that you're okay. Value the people around you, value your connections, and just love. It's a shame that as a society we focus so much on understanding things and labeling things that you don't just feel however you feel, you know?
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
If you're like some like wild party college girl who kissed a girl at a party, that's fine. If you enjoyed it, but like you realize you don't have any romantic feelings for a girl, that's fine. Doesn't mean you can't enjoy getting off with her if you enjoy that physical connection.
Fun fact, I did make out with one of my girlfriends to get in a bar one time during university. And I'm not mad about it. It was cold outside and we put on a show for the security guard. He let us right the fuck in.
Fake it till you fucking make it. That's the motto.
Right, exactly. And we did. Now, you told me a story about an interaction that was sexual of someone you know, and I think it's a funny story, so I want you to tell the pod about it.
So one of my straight buddies, it's a pandemic, and early on he was just like, I want to try some different stuff. So he tried a bigger girl. And I was like, oh, cool. You know, like, I have lots of friends who are bigger girls, and like, I've been with a few bigger girls. Awesome. Like, I personally have received great interactions.
Mood.
Great interactions, he says.
10 out of 10 on Yelp.
They rated 5 stars, baby.
But so he had this condo downtown, and he had this girl over. So she was a beautiful girl, bigger girl. Shout out to those big, beautiful women listening. So anyway, she came over. To be honest, the foreplay wasn't it. He told me that like the head was not the best.
Okay.
The hand jobs were not the best, but the sex was great.
Amazing. Okay.
So after the fact, she spent the night. Well, my buddy woke up. He remembered something. He starts frantically pacing his condo, and the girl notices this and gets up too. She's like, "Are you okay?" He says, "Well, yeah, I'm fine." She looks at him, stares very carefully, and then she understands. You double booked, didn't you?
I've never been in that situation.
I've never been in that situation
but
either.
I can just imagine how that would be like triggering.
Well, my friend's a gangster, and that being said, he messed up this time. So this girl calls him out, and he's like, yeah? So this girl, shout out to this girl, whoever you are, she was amazing. She's like, when is she gonna get here? He looks at his phone, and he's like, 5-10 minutes probably. And then she's like, well, I obviously can't go out there now. I could probably bump into her because like you're the end of the hall. So she's like, I have an idea. He's like, no ideas. Maybe I can hide you in this small condo. And she's like, no, don't worry. So here's the plan. The girl walks in, this new girl, and the girl who was there spending the night, at this point, she made coffee, she quickly got some toast and buttered it, and she sat down, all comfortable and shit, and she walks up to the girl and she's like, "You must be Sarah. It's so nice to meet you. So-and-so has said so much about you. Wow. We just live next door, and my husband and I always go on, like, trips at the cottage with this guy, and it's so great. I heard you guys are going to the cottage this weekend. The weather's gonna be great. I hope you guys have a fun weekend, and yeah." And then this amazing woman looks to my friend and says, "Well, anyway, me and my husband are gonna see you next week for dinner, right?" He's like, "Of course, yeah. All right." She shakes the girl's hand. She's like, "It was so nice meeting you." And then she walks out.
Such a bad bitch.
That is a fucking mood.
It's the mood that we want girls to have.
That was a genius idea on her part. And she really thought on her feet too, because I wouldn't have thought of that. I'd be like, holy fuck, gotta go grabbing my stuff. Like,
Oh, I would have grabbed my shit so fucking quick.
I mean,
literally.
Some girls spitefully leave their panties.
I was just about to say, we know from last episode, Meg's definitely leaving a little Victoria's Secret.
I'll be clear. There's a difference between a player and a fucking loser.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Meg leaving her panties, he was a loser.
Such a loser, literally. And that's why we block delete. My block game and delete game is too strong.
Can we talk about block delete?
Mm-hmm.
So, in regards to blocking or deleting someone, you know what? It is a completely fine, healthy measure. If I get to a point where I'm checking someone's story too much or I'm obsessing, that's not healthy. Mm-mm. Do you know what I mean? And I have to take care of myself first before I take care of anybody else. And I have to ask myself a real question. Is this ever going to work? And more importantly, is this going to work right now? No. Block them, get them out of your mind. Of course it's going to be difficult. You're going to unblock them. But when you have moments where you don't have to see that, you can be with your own thoughts and get much more clarity of what that person was actually like. Not this toxic back and forth of what they're trying to do to make you jealous, what you're maybe trying to do to up the game and make them jealous. Mm-hmm. And it just really gets out of hand. So the best thing to do, even if it's just for a temporary time, is to block them.
Yeah, because I feel like too, and I catch myself in this trap a little bit too, and I start getting this toxic little cycle in your head where you're like posting things knowing that they're gonna watch it, and if they don't watch it, that's the most triggering moment in the entire world. But if they're just blocked, like, you're not gonna go out there and post shit that you wouldn't normally post, or post and constantly are checking who's viewing it to see if they viewed it. It's just like, for your mental health, it's just so much better to just block and fucking delete, because sooner than later, if they're not present, they're not going to be in your mind. Like, out of sight, out of mind is huge.
In situations, and Meg, I spoke with you about this week, you know when you're creeping an ex, and it just sucks because that ex is probably like, "Oh yeah, they still want me. They're totally looking at my stuff." It's like, honey, no. I just know you think that you're better than me and you're having this great life. And you know what? Every 3 months or whatever, I want to see if you found the yellow brick road. Are you on the way to Oz? Have you found the wizard? I want to know. Because although I don't personally care, you know what? Like, I would like to hope that you gained maturity and you had a happy relationship. But no. I get up my popcorn and I see the same toxic shit that happens year after year after year.
Johnny, you say it so, like, maturely.
No, seriously, like, listening to Johnny talk, like, even off the podcast and stuff, I'm like, oh, you're so mature the way that you think. Like, I thought I was mature in the way that I think.
If I can state one piece of general advice for anyone in their relationship, it's to always play devil's advocate. Look at a perspective from the best possible outcome of a behavior and look at it from the worst. So that way you kind of have an idea of being prepared, and then start applying logic and really saying, well, the person that I think I know, where does this fit? But again, you were prepared for the best and you were also prepared for the worst.
I think a good thing too, a good way of looking at things is prepare for the worst, but expect the best. So you have all options laid out on the table. And me, the way that it's funny that you say that, because I was just talking to Meg about this on the way here. And the way that I think about things is my mind instantly goes to toxic. Like instantly I'm like, one thing happens, I'm like, the craziest of the crazy comes into my brain, and then I start talking myself down. And I'm bad. Like I don't like to lean on my friends for a lot of things. Like I like to deal with things on my own in my head. So I like talk myself down so much. I'm like, okay, he's out with another girl. He's doing this. This happened. And then I'm like, okay, let's logically think he might be at the gym. Maybe he's working tonight. Maybe he's on his schedule rotation. Like we're not exactly sure, but I start talking myself down to all of these different scenarios.
Like anyone else, I'd be like, this is what's going on. But when it's yourself, it's so hard to take that advice. And I think both of you guys can probably like agree to that, right?
No, for sure. Like I could ask you a question that pertains to me that is exactly something that you have gone through, and you can give me the example of what exactly to do. But it's because it doesn't pertain to you and why it's so easy for you to say it. And because I'm not thinking about it myself and you're giving me this advice as my best friend, it's so much easier for me to be like, well, I guess that reaffirms what I know. Fine.
Exactly.
And I think that's why it's so important too with this podcast and with Not My Issue is we obviously talk about a lot of things that are very common and a lot of things that some people might already know, but I think hearing it from a different perspective and us having this like best friend chats and stuff, it's almost like the best friends that you need to hear shit from. And it's like it doesn't click in your head until like you hear it from somebody else or you hear it on a podcast.
Sometimes you just need to reiterate it, and hearing it from someone else, maybe a third party, and it starts to make sense a little bit more rather than hearing it from, you know, those close people that are involved, etc. So, hey guys, you want that advice? Listen to Not My Issue.
With that being said, guys, I think we have given you the amount of wisdom that this episode can definitely hold. I would like to thank our lovely first real guest on this podcast, John. Thank you so much for joining us.
I am down whenever, wherever we're meant to be together.
I am here for it. You know how much I love you. I'm obsessed with you. You are one of my best friends. And I want to thank you personally for coming on our podcast. Thank you for all the amazing advice. Michelle and I were sitting here like in awe, like, wow, this is the advice we needed for this episode.
Awesome. Although I told nobody to slip into my DMs, on the off chance you want to, check me out at Bolton City Gym Leader.
That's right.
That's him. He is a gym leader. That's for sure. Check out that body on the gram, guys.
Body, baby.
Oh, he's bodied. So check it out. Make sure you check out our bodies also on our Instagrams. Our podcast Instagram is once again Not My Issue _ the podcast. My personal is Michelle Fergs with the Z.
And mine is Megan.Ashley with 2 Y's.
2 Y's. Don't forget that, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, rate us on all of the streaming platforms. And we cannot wait to see you next week for episode number 7. Cannot wait.
Thank you guys for listening. We love you so much. And again, thank you, John, for coming as our first guest. We love you.
Thank you.
Amazing. We'll see you guys next week.